Hey guys, Belinda from Simple Goodness Sisters, doing another recipe for the July Cocktail Farm Club special release bottle, Cucumber Lime Pepper. So this one's really fun. We haven't done anything like this before and it feels very July. So we're gonna do poolside cucumber margarita popsicles. And just in case you were tired at this point in the year of drinking your cocktails, now you can bite your cocktails. You can do it as a mocktail, you can do it as a cocktail. Follow the ingredients on the recipe card to do the mocktail version, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the cocktail now. So I'm gonna start with 2 cups of cucumbers that I'm gonna add to a bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and leave my skins on because I used an organic cucumber. If you didn't use an organic cucumber or one grown in your garden that you feel is safe, you might wanna take the peels off because that is where a lot of the other stuff kind of lives. But I'm just gonna throw mine right in there. I think it makes it look really pretty too, but again, totally personal preference. You can peel them. I'm gonna throw those in there. Next, I'm going to do a half cup of fresh squeezed lime juice, and I'm just gonna pour that right into my measuring cup, measuring in bigger quantities than we're used to here, and a half cup of the cucumber pepper lime syrup. It's got ghost peppers and jalapenos, so there's a lot of flavor there and just a little bit of lingering heat, not too much where it's gonna blow you out. And pour that right in there. Next, you're gonna add 1 cup of coconut water. Now, when you're making alcoholic popsicles, getting the alcohol content to water content to sugar ratio is all really important to help it actually freeze. So you do wanna be precise on these measurements, and that is really important. We're gonna do 1 full cup of the coconut water. It's gonna add enough of that water content to help it freeze and balance out the alcohol content that we're about to add. I'm gonna add that last. I'm using a 100% agave silver tequila. In my margarita video, I spoke briefly about like how to buy your tequila or what kind of things to look for on a label, so you might wanna watch that. And then I'm just gonna add it in next. I'm gonna measure 6 ounces. So I'm gonna do the tall side of my shot glass 4 times to get 6 ounces. You can get creative here if you'd like with some things, such as like garnish or things to include inside the popsicles for texture. So I think that was 4. I have to go back to editing and check. But I think it looks really pretty when you add like some flower petals or like little pieces of cilantro. It looks great. It's gonna make your Pinterest board light up, but depending on your personal preference, you might not actually like eating them that way. So think about that you might be like chewing cilantro in the popsicle. So there's, you know, there's a balance to be reached in garnishing these. I'm gonna leave mine plain so that they're easier to eat. I already have the peel from the cucumber, so there's already some texture, so I don't wanna overdo it. Next, we're gonna blend it all up together. So we've got the coconut water, the tequila, the lime juice, the syrup, and the fresh cucumbers. And I'm just gonna use my immersion blender and hope that it doesn't spray me in the face and peel it all up. It's all blended up, looking good, no chunks. Nice pretty color. And I'm gonna pour it into my popsicle molds. Great, so I just filled my popsicle molds. You can go ahead and leave the spirit out of this recipe and it's still gonna be delicious. You're gonna have awesome faux margarita popsicles. It'll be really, really fun and much more adult flavor than you're gonna find in the grocery stores. Or you can do the spirit as I did and just pour it into your cocktail or popsicle molds and put the caps in. I ended up with a little bit of extra, which is awesome because then I can make a second batch after these are done. I can just refrigerate this, or if you have other things that you can turn into a popsicle mold, you certainly don't need a fancy plastic popsicle mold to make them. I remember in elementary school, we would use like Dixie cups with popsicle sticks in them and make all kinds of different flavors of pudding pops or popsicles. So feel free to get creative with what you have. This is going to taste a little bit stronger than if you were to make this just as a cocktail to drink right now. And the reason for that is that when you freeze something, it actually requires a lot more flavor and a little bit more sugar for the flavor to come through when it's frozen. So I wouldn't necessarily drink this as a cocktail as is right now, but I might if I blended it up with more ice in my blender, and then I would have a really delicious like frozen margarita. So that's another option if you have leftovers after your molds are full and you don't want to do a second round. These are going to go in my freezer. Depending on your freezer and on your actual mold and how big they are, might need different freezing times. So I put the minimum on your recipe card as 4 hours. Really, I think these are gonna take closer to 8. So just continue to check them every couple of hours, and you'll wanna plan ahead before you can enjoy these. They're gonna be so pretty though, and I cannot wait. I'm gonna pop them in the freezer and check back later. This recipe I hope you guys love, and can amend it to use it with any of our other Simple Goodness syrup flavors. Marionberry mint and fresh berries would be delicious. You could do this with all kinds of combos, and you can keep coconut water as your base, or if you don't like the coconut water flavor, I think it's really nice because it's a little bit refreshing and also has these great electrolytes in it, which is good for poolside drinking, but you can just sub out regular water or even juice if you prefer. So enjoy, and make sure that you tag us in your photos as you have your poolside cucumber margaritas. We're at Simple Goodness Sisters on Instagram and simplegoodnesssisters.com.